Mercy Aiken, you've worked with Jews and Muslims and Christians in the Middle East, and you've had a chance to chat with them about John 14, verse 6. And I'm wondering what your approach to that with them is, especially when it comes across to them as so exclusive. Could you give me your thoughts on that?
Yeah. So it was interesting to me that I was asked by Muslims and Jews specifically about that verse. And I was really grateful that I had spent a lot of time thinking about that. And so my view on this is throughout Scripture, we see a progressive revelation of God given to us through various names. So, the Jews knew him, Elohim, they had these different names for God, and then God would introduce himself by a new name, and it would kind of show you a new facet of the character of God. And then you could connect with God through that name or worship him through that name. He will provide, or he is present, or he sees. And then we come to David, who starts referring to God with all of these very personal, my king, my God, my shepherd, my high tower. And David was the first one who began to use this type of language, calling God my, all these things in this very excessive way that I don't know for sure, but I imagine it might have been kind of like surprising to some people back then when he was writing the Psalms. But David talked about God in this very close, personal, intimate way. He's my king, and David was like the first king that was after God's heart, because David saw God as king, and he had set him as king in his heart. So then we come to Jesus, who is son of David, and he's in that same spirit, and he begins calling God my Father. And by that, he was opening up a new way for us to think about God in the most personal, intimate way possible, that he is our Father. And so when Jesus is saying, I am the way, the truth, and the life, no one comes to the Father but through me, he's saying, if you want to have this type of relationship with God that I'm talking about, where you refer to him as Father,
Our Father.
our Father, where you refer to him as our Father and you know him through the spirit of sonship, that's only going to be through me, because I am the one who has the spirit of sonship within me, and that's the spirit that I give to you. When you come into me, I give my own spirit of sonship, I put it inside of you, and then you relate to him through that same spirit of sonship. And so Jesus was actually just calling us into a deeper and more intimate type of way of relating to God. He's not saying the only way you will ever know God or you can come to God, all these other names aren't valid. They're still valid. You can still know God through all these other names that God gave. But if you want to know him as Father, if you want to know him as this pinnacle of relationship, you can only do that through Jesus.
How is that received when you share it that way?
Everyone, I would just see like this, oh, I would see like an openness and a welcomeness and like a kind of a perk of understanding in their eyes, like a gleam of and